Hey everyone, it's Aureolin. We're back to another episode of Aureolin's Heartrate Gaming. So we're back to Idle Heroes, and like I said in the last video, in this one I'm just going to be giving you guys a little bit of some tips and tricks and things that I just do every time I get on and play. Just some pointers, I guess, because I don't really want to say top tips and tricks for new players or anything like that. I'm just kind of going over what I do when I play, and maybe there's stuff that you guys haven't thought of before or whatever, and maybe it'll help you with your gameplay. I hope. So that's kind of the point of this video. So the very first thing I want to start with is the dailies, the daily quests. So as you can see here, I haven't completed the Wishing Fountain or the Heroic Summon. I actually only complete all the daily quests every other day because you only get a free Heroic Summon every other day. And for completing the whole thing, you only get 120 gems, which I did the math, and since I buy Heroic Scrolls from the merchant, one Heroic Scroll costs about 125 gems, while 2 Wishing Tokens cost 60 gems. So that's 185 gems versus the 120 that you'd gain. So really, you'd be losing gems by completing the daily. I mean, you could also argue that it makes up 120 gems, but when I think about it as I'm not wasting that Heroic Scroll, to me, it doesn't make sense to complete it every day, and it helps me not fall behind on my Heroic Summons when the event comes. So I only do the dailies every other day. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to touch base on, I'm sure most of you probably know, it's pretty basic knowledge. In the campaign, when you go and you're doing the campaign and you're leveling up, as you can see, I have level 22-7 unlocked, but I'm on 22.5 because this is the stage. Any stage with a multiple of 5 gives you 5-star shards. So it's always a good idea to go back to a multiple of 5 stage, the one with the shards, and just sit on that while you wait to level. Eventually these shards will accumulate, and they add up over time, and I have gotten extra heroes just by sitting and waiting to level up on those. I mean, and leveling up really isn't as important in this game as it is in others, so it's not really that big a deal. I'm actually about 2 to 3 days behind most of the people on this server, which it's really not that big a deal. So I'm still keeping up and doing decent, but yeah, anyway, off topic a little bit. So you want to be either on a -5 floor or a -10 floor, because those are the floors that'll have the 5-star shards. You want the 5-star shards. Next up, we have the Celestial Island. So when you're first starting off, like my island is still obviously not fully developed. It's close, but it's not fully done yet. But when you're first starting off, you're probably going to want to build some of the gold mines and maybe one of the gem mines at least. I mean, as you can see, this one's max level and I get 60 gems a day, and I have 2, so that's another 120 gems per day that I get from that. But early game, like when you're just starting out, gold is like so hard to get and you really need a lot of it. So getting those gold mines is a really good idea. But one of the things I wanted to warn you guys about, because you want to be doing the expeditions, because you get extra rewards from the expeditions so that you can level up your monsters and your islands and all of that. But you have to be careful, because when you level up your watchtower, it will increase the difficulty of your expedition islands. So the watchtower difficulty will level up the difficulty of the islands at level 5, 8, 11, 14, 17, and 19. So if you feel that you're like, say your watchtower is level 5, and you feel like the islands you're fighting are kind of tough for you, like maybe you're just starting out and the islands are kind of hard, then you probably don't want to get your watchtower to level 8. You can get it to level 7 and it won't increase the difficulty, but once you hit level 8, it will roll over and the islands will get harder. So you have to be careful about that. I know I had to kind of play a balancing act with my watchtower for a while until I got my team built up. Another thing, you want to make sure you're checking your friend list regularly. You're going to want to come in, and at the top here, if right by the verses, you'll see a little skull if someone has a marauder. And if they have a marauder, you want to jump on that so fast and you want to smash that thing as quick as you can before someone else can. Because even if you can't kill it, you're going to get points towards the ranking. I don't think my ranking's very good right now. No. I haven't gotten very many marauders this time around, unfortunately, but it'll get your ranking up, which will then get you better rewards here, which means extra gems, extra hearts for more summons, more gold, more resources, basically. So every time you get on, it's a good idea to just pop in your friends list and check it, see if they have marauders. Make sure you're searching for your own too. Okay. So don't forget to do that. And then when it comes to tavern, I always refresh my tavern quests until I have at least a 4-star quest or better. I know it costs gems to do that, and not everyone will always have enough gems to be able to do that. So if you don't, maybe try to stop on like 3-star quests that do give gems and just, collect it that way. But I always refresh until I get at least 4-star or better. Yeah, and that usually ends up paying off in the end. It usually helps quite a bit if you can afford to do it. So in the marketplace, I was going to review the marketplace. In the marketplace, I pretty much always buy the arena tickets for gold, the 3-star heroes for gold, the 4-star heroes for gold, and then I buy the scrolls, and I've started buying coins because that event's coming up soon and I'm a little behind on my coin collection. So I've been buying those every once in a while. But if you're new and you're feeling the hurt, or you don't want to buy all this stuff, I at least highly recommend that you buy all the 3-star heroes, because when it comes time to start starring up 4 stars for fodder, you're going to run short on these 3-star heroes, and having the specific ones stocked up in your bag can save your day. So I highly recommend buying at least the 3-star heroes. If you can afford it, I would buy the 4-star too, because that's just accumulating towards more fodder, always important. And then the tickets are, they're pretty valuable too. It's always a good idea to have more tickets. So if you can afford to get all those, I would. As far as I'll touch base on my gem spending towards the end, I think. So yeah, like in the arena, you want to spend your tickets wisely. Like you can see my Crystal Crown League still has 7 days left, so I'll just kind of every once in a while, do a few fights, just kind of keep my ranking up there, but not just plowing. It is a good idea to wait until closer to the end time and then sort of try to get a higher ranking, because the higher ranking, the more rewards. But I mean, really the rewards aren't so significantly different that if you fail to get top 50 by like 1 place, it's not a huge loss. And really it's more about doing the fights, and then you get more tickets and more things like that. More resources. It's all about gathering those resources. That's really key. Also, I wanted to talk about the event raid. I was kind of stupid when I first started and didn't realize this, so I didn't know if anyone else didn't realize this. I figure I'll just say it. Whether it makes me just look retarded, I don't know. But if you didn't realize, when you go into the challenge, it has this remaining battles at the top, and and it'll say 2 out of 2 when it refreshes at the start of the game day. And I thought that it was 2 battles for any of these. Like you could do 1 on gold and 1 on hero pieces, or 2 on gold and that's it kind of thing. But actually you could do 2 on gold, 2 on goo, and 2 on shards. And when I first started playing, I did not realize that, so I missed out on resources. So just know you can hit each of these twice, and you should be doing that every day so that you get those very valuable resources. So then in Tower of Oblivion, as you're building your team, I mean, you'll see real quick, it'll start getting hard real fast. And once it starts getting hard, you could get stuck on a floor and just be like, I mean, there's no way I can get past this. You could just try 20 times in a row, or 10 times in a row, and you just fail, and then you come back and try again later, and it fail. All I could say is keep trying, keep coming back, keep doing the fights. I have had some floors where I have lost like over 100 times, and then for whatever reason, no changes in my heroes, no changes in gear, no changes in tech, nothing, and all of a sudden you'll get that one perfect run and get that victory. And the floor after it might end up being way easier. So just keep using your attacks and just keep trying. Like just keep trying. I know it's a little bit boring. At least they have the skip battle now. They didn't used to. You had to sit and wait and watch that crap. So keep trying, because you might surprise yourself. You might get past it. So in Aspen Dungeon, we have the 3 merchants. We have the primary, the medium, and the senior. The senior merchant, you'll get more often when you get higher in Aspen. So if you're not too high in Aspen, you may not get very many of him. But you want to check what he has for sure, because he has the best deals. Like here, he's tempting me hardcore with these 5 profit orbs for 2250 gems, because 5 profit orbs would really be 2,500 gems. So you're saving gems if you buy this pack. And when he has the 10 scroll packs, I almost always buy them. I try to buy those every time. The only reason I'm not buying these profit orbs right now is because I've been debating buying some class gear. Sometimes I'll buy these coins when I'm really behind. 500 gems for 20 coins. It's not a bad deal. So I'll buy those sometimes. As far as medium merchant goes, I usually only buy her stuff that I need that she's selling for gold. Things like arena tickets, or sometimes she'll have the coins for gold, or some hero pieces for gold. I'll buy all of those if she has those for gold. She's kind of the average deal. Like, she's not really giving you a bargain. It's just sort of a place to get more. Like, you see 1 profit orb for 500 gems. It's the same price as the marketplace. So she's marketplace value, basically. And then the primary merchant, this dude's just here to screw you over. I rarely buy stuff from him. The only time I do is if it's for gold and it's like arena tickets. I don't even know if he has coins for gold. Maybe he does. And if he does, I'll buy those, but only if I have some gold to spare. He's a bad deal. Like, if you can avoid it, don't buy stuff from him. Senior merchant is really where you're looking for it. And medium merchant, if she's got stuff for sale for gold and you've got the gold. So we also have the monthly events. You want to complete these. Even if it takes you all month to complete these, you want to complete these. It gives really great rewards. It's a great way to get extra gems. It's a great way to get a few extra profit orbs. You get a skin, you get an elite hero here, and then the relics. The main goal is those relics. Getting relics is really great, really important. It's one of the only ways you're going to be able to get really good stuff, guaranteed. So then the tavern quest, you get another 5 relics there, and then in the fusion one, if you can manage to pull off as many of these fusions, when you get a little further into the game, completing these fusion quests won't even be that hard. You'll at least be able to do a few of them. Granted, the 10-star one is pretty difficult, but it gives you 1,000 gems and 4 relics, so Yeah, so the thing about it though is if you can actually pull off 2 10 stars, I would wait until your monthly rolls over. Like, do 1, get it and complete it, and see it's got a limit of 1. I would wait until your monthly rolls over and then complete it. Like, even though it's like, no, if I do this 10 star right now, I could E3 this and this, I would still wait, because those relics and those gems, it's pretty great and it's pretty important. And then once your team gets good enough to start completing some of these broken spaces, you can start collecting a few extra relics and artifacts there. More resources, more resources, more resources. And the relic shop, of course, is, you know, this is where you're going to be able to pick up those specific, really great heroes that you need. I would aim to get like extra copies of good heroes you've already gotten from events or from lucky pulls. I don't know if I'd really buy a hero that I have no copies of. Like, I wouldn't start a hero from scratch here. This is more like if you're just missing a couple copies or whatever, pick it up here. You could also buy skins here. This used to be the only place to get limited skins, but now that they allow you to fuse normal skins into limited skins, I don't really know if spending relics on skins is necessarily worth it anymore. I would hold off on doing that. And then, of course, the relics, they're very expensive, but there's a few in here that are really, really good. You know, the obvious one to highlight would be Rune's Power, which is Valk's go-to artifact, but it's 100 relics, so you need to be collecting those relics. But all those things will add up to make your team and your heroes so awesome. To picking the heroes that you want to keep and what heroes you should have for like your team when you're building your team early on and stuff, I highly recommend going online and Googling Idle Heroes tier list. It's really great. They kind of explain they tier each hero, and they basically explain why they feel each hero is better than which hero, and you'll know which ones are actually going to serve you long game, like long term. Some of them are good early on, and then they're not any good at all later on, and you want to aim to keep the heroes that are going to last you the whole time. You want to aim to get one of these auras really early game. Don't worry about it so much. It is a little bit difficult to get an aura because you have to have specific heroes, and if you're just running, you know, garbage heroes to fill those roles, really it's going to end up diminishing your team rather than just running whatever you have the best of. So in the beginning, you just kind of want to run whatever you have that's strongest. For people who aren't spending a lot of money on the game like me, I highly recommend aiming to do Rainbow Aura. It's a good aura, and it has many, many uses. The reason I say to aim for Rainbow Aura is I feel like it is the easiest aura to get, because when you're only having to build one specific hero in each faction, all those extra 6 stars you need to go, you know, from 7 star to 10 star, all that fodder in that faction really adds up after a while, and it gets really hard to star multiple heroes in the same faction because you're struggling to get all of that faction specific fodder. So if you're only working, you know, like one undead or shadow, one shadow hero, one fortress hero, you know, so on and so forth, then you're not going to need so much specific fodder, like versus if I had 3 fortress heroes that I was trying to E3, that is a ton of fortress fodder we're talking about. So if you are aiming for an aura and you're still kind of early on, I recommend Rainbow Aura. It's the easiest one to build. Plus, when you're talking light and dark heroes, be very wary of light and dark heroes if you don't spend a ton. They are very hard to get fodder for. You know, there's only like the Prophet Orb event that you can really get some fodder from, you know, like the Heroic Miracle and things like that. And the fodder, it comes rarely. It's hard to get, but they made them that way. The light and dark heroes are very powerful, and I mean, it makes it more balanced, but just be wary of that, especially if you're early game. You might not even want to mess with light and dark yet. Yeah, so that's also why I say that I can only do one light or one dark hero. So even if I get a good light or a different light or dark hero that is good, I can't work on it because I can only do one. I can't afford multiple. Light and dark building is very expensive. So that's what I recommend as far as that. I mean, you do need to know what heroes are good in each faction, like if you're going to pick one. So do check that tier list so you kind of know where your wiggle room is and which heroes you really should be keeping an eye out for in events, so you know which events are worth completing and which ones not so much. Things like that. The biggest thing when I'm playing my game is this game is all about patience. It's all about getting your resources and then waiting for the most opportune moment to spend them all. So it's a patience game, and this game will test your patience because each event only comes around once a month. So like I've decided to skip this heroic summon event, which means I have to wait a whole nother month before I'm gonna get to spend my scrolls again. But that's okay. I'm a patient person. I can wait. And knowing that next month is gonna be the anniversary event, all the more reason to wait. Like right now, I actually do have the fodder. I do have the resources to 10-star my Aspen and 9-star my Michelle if I wanted to right now. But I don't want to because I only have so many light and dark heroes, 5 stars, in my bag. And if I pull out all the resources that I need in order to star up both those heroes, I will not have the light or the dark 5 stars to complete the heroic miracle next time it comes around. And I really want to complete that event. That event always gives a good hero, and I don't want to miss that. It's a free hero just for pulling heroes out of your bag. So I'm gonna wait. Like, I'm just going to wait. I mean, sometimes it's hard sitting there knowing my team could be way stronger, but in the end, I'm going to end up getting more for my patience than if I got over it. I highly recommend keeping any heroes that you don't need immediately just in pieces. Just keep them in your bag. I mean, like, I've got all these 4 stars and stuff that I could pull out, but I'm not really immediately starring anything right this moment. So there's really no purpose in me pulling them out. So just let them sit. Just leave them there until you're ready to do that big star up bang, when your monthlies refresh or when Heroic Miracle comes or whatever it is that you're waiting on, that opportune moment. Just keep them in here. Also, it saves you bag space because, especially if you're not VIP, then your bag space is going to be extremely limited. So just keep those heroes as pieces. It's not going to hurt them. Okay, so as far as spending your resources, like with arena tokens, I would say I would buy either light or dark 4-star shards, profit orbs, or maybe branches if you're just like a little bit short. That's probably the only thing I would spend tokens on. I mean, these are just for fun. So like if you're late game and you just want one of those, whatever, have fun, get a cool avatar. But if you're earlier game and you already have dedicated yourself to a light or dark or something, maybe you really need these light and dark shards. Or maybe you're just a couple profit orbs from finishing off that profit orb event. Here's your way to get it, So that's how I would spend my arena token. In Brave Trial, the only thing, I don't recommend buying heroes. The only thing I can really recommend is getting monster stuff. Like I know in earlier game, getting enough monster stuff to level up your monsters was kind of difficult. So this is a good place to buy it, and honestly, it's like the only thing I would spend my Brave Trial things on. So I call them candy corns because they look like candy corns. I think they're technically dragon scales though, but they look like candy corns. Anyway, I would get monster stuff there. And in Guild, they have this store, but I swear it is only here to tempt you early game into wasting your resources. You think, oh, here's these 5-star heroes I could get, or ooh, I could get, you know, an exclusive artifact, or blah, 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 blah. I wouldn't do it. The only thing guild coins you want to be spending them on is the tech. You want to be trying to max out your tech. Like, you want to be working on your tech. This is going to help your heroes everywhere. So tech is the biggest thing. You want all your guild coins going towards tech. Make sure you're coming in, you're making sure your mill is running, make sure you participate in the raids or the pray for fire wherever you're at. Make sure you're doing those things because those guild coins are important. Resources, resources, resources. So another thing was that some people had asked, what exactly do I spend my gems on? Honestly, the only thing I will usually spend my gems on is the really good deals in Aspen, in like Senior Merchant, if he has a really good buy, specifically Heroic Scrolls. I'll buy those. I almost always buy the 8-pack of Heroic Scrolls from the marketplace because keeping your Heroic Scroll stock up enough in order to finish the events is really difficult to do if you can't buy these scrolls. I was free to play for about 3 months when I first started, I think. About 3 months. And I know I had to skip I had to do only every other heroic summon because I never had enough scrolls to complete it until it was, 2 of them, basically. I had to wait one, I'd have to skip one, and then I could complete the next one. And yeah, so now that I have the monthly card, I can afford to buy the 8 scrolls from the marketplace every day, and that usually helps me to replenish my stock in time for when the Heroic Scroll event comes around. And then, of course, in Aspen too. The only other thing I spend my gems on, there is the gem box event, and I usually do buy the first 3 gem boxes from that, the cheaper ones. I very rarely buy the bigger ones, like unless it has a hero I really want in it or something really great. I mean, those guild coins are always tempting, but unless it's something I really, really, really want, it's such a huge gem investment that I just can't justify it to myself. So I never buy those, like very rarely buy those. The only other thing I spend gems on is the Grey Dwarf's Blessing, because this is a fantastic way to get better gear for your heroes. And like I've said in other videos, gear will make your heroes awesome. So I usually try to get the 6-star gear. I try to save up to get the class gear every once in a while. I'm trying to right now, actually saving the gold so I can get that class specific gear. But really, I think that's pretty much the only thing that I spend my gems on. So unless there's like a special event or something like that, I don't really spend my gems anywhere else. And that way it keeps it so that I could keep buying the Heroic Scrolls in the marketplace, or if I need to, the coins or a few profit orbs, those sorts of things. And it keeps my gems at a nice steady area. I think that just about covers all of the major things that I wanted to touch base on. I really hope that some of these things help you guys out, or just to help make your gameplay a little easier for you, help you be able to build your teams into, super awesomeness so you could do really good in the game and have a lot of fun. So the main thing I want you to take away from this is that the game is called Idle Heroes. So just patience. Try to be as patient as you can time the spending of your resources. Like, I mean, sometimes I would say it's okay to complete the heroic summon event up to 400 points, but really missing out on those 15 relics is huge. Those relics are so important. Do not underestimate the importance of the relics. So I usually play by a motto of save my resources until I can complete an event. If I can't complete an event, then I just wait. And you know, timing when you star up different heroes and stuff, just so that you can get the most resources possible. So just be patient, hang in there, work on the heroes that you get. But I hope this was helpful for you guys. And if you enjoyed, make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. See ya!